All right, so we're back, and today we are 2 days away from the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing in a very long time. The unification bout, 30 years it's been since there has been a unified, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. We're about to answer that question as to who it's going to be. Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury. I will be live, by the way, this Saturday here on the channel for the fight. I think we're going to start here at about either 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time because, again, it's in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh season. You guys know they start a little bit different down there, and plus it's like a freaking musical concert before the fights even happen. So be here 9 or 10 PST Saturday. But today we're taking a look at the open workouts because we saw some things here that are pretty interesting from both fighters. Oleksandr Usyk showed a side of him we've never seen, but Tyson Fury showed a side that we haven't seen in a very long time. And there's a chance that those two things make a difference in the fight. But speaking of chances, before we get into the open workout, I want to say a big thanks to MyBookie for sponsoring today's video and the live stream on Saturday. I want to make sure you guys know MyBookie code WADE is there and available for you guys to get in on the action for this fight. I'm going to be putting my money down. I'm not telling you guys on who just yet. Stay tuned for that tomorrow. But once again, code WADE at MyBookie if you guys are going to throw down some cash on the biggest heavyweight fight in years and probably years to come. Like I said, do so using code WADE. All right, so let's take a look at the open workout. Usually, we're not going to get a lot of answers as to what we may see in the fight, but today, I think we may have. What do I mean? The breakdown. Let's go. All right, so we had Usyk up first. Right away, Oleksandr Usyk came out orthodox, and something you don't see from him a lot, and I don't think you really see it ever from him, but this makes you ask a couple of questions. One, why is Oleksandr Usyk doing this? Two, will he actually do this in the fight? Here are my thoughts. One, Oleksandr Usyk is a thinking man. Let's not forget that even when he was a cruiserweight, he had eyes on Tyson Fury from every angle. His television, in the press, in the stands of Tyson Fury's fights. You guys can remember back to where he was overlooking Tyson Fury's fights from one vantage point or another. Potentially, no pun intended, having those answers for Tyson Fury that no one else has as to how to beat him. My point in saying all that is to tell you that Oleksandr Usyk has plotted and schemed on Tyson Fury in this potential fight for years and years and years. And even in this open workout, as you'll see in a second, Usyk couldn't take his eyes off Fury. Always studying, always there. So what does he do when it's his turn to go in and move around in the open workout? He shows Fury and essentially predicts what Fury's going to do in his open workout by saying, hey, you can fight in both stances. You got good footwork. You got good hand speed. Well, I'm Oleksandr Usyk, and I may not be 6'9" or 250 or 260 or whatever it is that Tyson's going to come in at, but I can do that too. And that's why I think he comes out in the orthodox stance. Now, do I think that Usyk is actually going to fight this way? I would say maybe in a spurt or two, but no, I don't see him coming out and fighting the entire fight orthodox. I think that's a terrible idea. I think it's a mental game to show Tyson Fury that he is always one step ahead, literally and figuratively. He went first in the open workout, and I think this was a prediction to show, hey, I know Tyson's going to come in here and move around and switch stance, and this is what he does during the fights as well. Tyson fights in the southpaw position in certain exchanges, right? When he leverages a double jab, right hand, or right hook and wants to change his position to finish the combination. And then maybe sometimes on the defense, with his back to the ropes, he'll go a little bit more parallel and give you a little bit of both stances. Usyk essentially is saying, I've seen you do that, and I'm just here to show you this is not somebody you've ever fought before. I'm not like these other heavyweights that are Mr. Conventional like Klitschko, or ridiculous power with little technique like Deontay Wilder. I am smaller in stature than some of those guys, but possess a skill that I don't think even those guys, even the great Klitschko did. His footwork is, honestly, I would say better than Tyson's. His ability to get to pockets where, even as an undersized heavyweight, he can be successful in. Again, his angles on entry and exit are things you just usually don't see from a heavyweight, which is what makes Oleksandr Usyk great. This is why I put Anthony Joshua in a pretzel, and Joshua had no answers for him. He couldn't keep up with the angle switches, with the footwork, with the timing and the precision of Oleksandr Usyk. And he tried to, which is another thing that we have to talk about in this fight. How does Tyson Fury approach this? Because Anthony Joshua, especially the second time around, tried to outbox Oleksandr Usyk, and it was a terrible idea. His strength was being a destroyer in that ring. And he couldn't do that versus Usyk. He wasn't great enough in those moments. He hadn't had the ability to track down and nail down Usyk to the canvas. He didn't have that ability. This is why Usyk is able to take advantage of some of the heavyweights. They're slower. They're technically not as sound as he is. And even despite the big-time power they may throw, he's nimble and quick and has the boxing IQ to lure them into a space where they think their power is going to be successful, just to have them overshoot, overthrow, and eat punches back. The only person that's really shown any sort of weakness to Usyk at the heavyweight class has been Daniel Dubois. With some body shots, people are still debating on what happened to the body shot / low blow that put Usyk on the floor and showed that vulnerability of what happens when you do hit him to the body. I still think that was a body shot, maybe a little low, but not to cause the reaction it did, and left one Tyson Fury a reason to be remotivated to shake the cobwebs off and shake off the embarrassment of the Francis Ngannou fight, to take this one and get back in the ring for what he says he doesn't care a single thing about, but I tend to believe he actually does, his legacy. So that's what I had in mind when this fight was made, is that Tyson Fury, depending on how he takes the Francis Ngannou fight, now they're calling that a win. I still think Francis beat him, but it is what it is. We're past it. How does he bounce back from that sort of performance? The guy is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world and essentially gets shown up by a guy in Francis Ngannou that's never boxed before, and then Anthony Joshua absolutely obliterates Francis Ngannou. How does a guy like Tyson Fury, who's always had his ups and downs, come back from that and in a fight with the most technically skilled, difficult matchup-wise, and the one man out there that challenges his reign, Oleksandr Usyk, how does he come back for that fight? And then I saw a picture, Leo, you can throw it up, of Tyson Fury's shape. He has gotten in, for him, ridiculous shape. He is slimmed down, he is trimmed down, and again, this was step number one to show me this was him taking this fight seriously. He wasn't half-assing training. He wasn't going to just walk into Riyadh season, get a crazy bag, and who cares about what happens. This was remotivated. This was redemption for Tyson Fury, and this has been why I've been even more intrigued by this fight, because I don't think we're going to get the Tyson Fury that we got even with the Wilder fights. And what I mean by that is I don't think we're going to get a guy that just tries to be physically imposing without any of the other skills that Tyson Fury has always been known for. Like, we almost forget that Tyson Fury was some of the best footwork at heavyweight. We said he moved like a cruiserweight. How does he, with that kind of shape, and doesn't look like he's ever lifted a weight before, how is he so smooth and technical in his feet work? How is he so quick? At 6, I'm going to say 7, because I don't think Tyson Fury's actually 6'9", 6'7", 250 to 60 pounds. How does he move like that? We haven't seen that Tyson in a very long time. And him getting into shape the way he has reminds me that that guy is still in there, and he's still relatively young. He's only 35 years old, which again, doesn't make him a spry young chicken at heavyweight, but it doesn't make him an old man yet either. And for the style in which he's going to fight, he's going to have to find some of that youth once again, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to just stand in front of Usyk, big, tall, brooding, and try to lay and weigh on him with his weight like he has other heavyweights like Deontay Wilder and Chisora recently. And he tried to do to Francis, but that wasn't working out for him. But I will see this fight looking like, to me, a little bit more of the Klitschko fight, where he did have to outbox one of the best jabs at heavyweight at that time. Or you could maybe even take a look at, again, his fitness level, his shape, for the Steve Cunningham fight way back when. And we all know in that fight, he got rocked with a big right hand, a big overhand, and he came back to win that fight, which against a smaller guy, him getting dropped like that, and him being dropped by Francis Ngannou, him being dropped by Deontay Wilder, it starts to beg that question, why would Tyson lose so much weight for a smaller guy? But the answer, to me at least, is simple. He wants to be able to outbox Oleksandr Usyk and be able to still keep some of that big man frame. It's the best of both worlds is the way I look at it. I don't think Tyson's going to fight solely the way he used to, right? In my opinion, it's going to be tough to just win by jab if you're Tyson Fury. Yes, he's got a crazy reach, and yes, he's mobile on his feet, but this is 12 rounds with a guy that is also very mobile, and you could argue is quicker with his feet, faster to get to the punch, and a good angle switcher of his own. So in my opinion, you got to meet right in the middle there, which is what I think Tyson Fury's going to do. And as you can see right there, there's Usyk, again, keeping those eyes on him. And this time, while Fury knows that this entire journey has been Usyk eyeing Fury down, Usyk always watching Fury, Usyk finding ways to beat the one heavyweight that seems unbeatable in Tyson Fury. I think this is the first time in a while that Fury's been motivated, that he knows there's something on the line, that he knows that the guy across from him is more dangerous, to that word. Again, in my opinion, no matter how many times he says he doesn't think about it, he does. His legacy than any other fighter Fury has had. And I think Usyk may have caught him at the most dangerous point, because look how loose he is here, man. Tyson's moving, dancing around the ring. He's always been a bit of a loose fighter and tries not to read too much into fight week, but he is super loose, super confident in his ability. And Sugar Hill has been quoted this week as saying he expects a knockout from Tyson Fury, and that's why I said I think he's going to fight in the middle here, because as we watch this open workout, you're going to see him, one, in southpaw, which again, I think was a response to Usyk just minutes earlier being orthodox. But also, he actually does this. Tyson Fury will fight in spurts in southpaw exclusively. So again, we see a chess match between two guys that are high-level boxing technicians and savants of the sweet science, man. They're the best in the world, which makes this fight so close. And in everyone's opinion, it's a 50-50 fight. If you have Usyk, there's multiple reasons you can state that. If you have Fury, there's multiple reasons you can put that out there. But this is what I'm talking about. You see in different moments, Tyson fighting at range, Tyson fighting on the inside, being able to move forward and back. I think he's going to have to be variable in this fight because that's what he's going to be fighting. I see Tyson working a lot on the front foot early. This is what Anthony Joshua tried to do to Usyk, but just couldn't track him down. Like, there were moments in the Joshua-Usyk fight where he had pinned, where it looked like he had pinned Usyk in the corner or on the ropes, and he just couldn't take advantage because as soon as his feet stopped and he wanted to set and throw, Usyk was gone. Or the counter was coming down the middle, and then Usyk was gone. Usyk will absolutely invite the combinations and the exchanges from Tyson Fury, right? He'll invite him the same way he invited Anthony Joshua to fight him in the pocket because that's almost what you have to do with a guy with that kind of reach and that kind of ability. Usyk's going to have to throw in between. He's going to have to find punches in between combinations or counter over the top of Tyson Fury. And that's where Fury's been the most vulnerable in his career, is when he is countered in exchanges, where he sits a little too long in the pocket, gets a little bit too lax with his defense, his hands drop to his side. He wants to start going 50 Cent in the club and start bopping his head to the newest beat out there. That's where Tyson just gets himself into trouble. I mean, even Francis Ngannou countered Tyson for being a bit lazy in exchanges, and that's what I think Usyk is going to try to take advantage of. Fury, on the other hand, has to be, like I said, the word variable. It is my belief, as we sit here now, that Tyson Fury has more opportunities to win this fight than Oleksandr Usyk will, because I think Usyk's going to have to fight a very reactionary fight, if that makes sense. And that's just, again, the way I look at it. I think Tyson can dictate the pace of the fight with his jab. If he wants to be on his jab and making Usyk come forward, then Usyk's going to have to fight that way. If Tyson wants to be on his front foot on his jab, Usyk's going to have to look for openings in the in-between. I don't think that Usyk can really dictate this on the front foot or back because of his lack of reach, and I think Tyson's ability with his reach. It's not just that Tyson's big and he has a long reach, it's the fact that he's able to use it. He's got the best jab at heavyweight. That's what I think. And as far as the open workout goes, it shows Tyson's in phenomenal shape. It shows that he is watching just as much as Usyk is because of the gamesmanship and doing his whole workout southpaw, while Usyk, right before him, did his whole workout orthodox. So he knows what to expect from Usyk. On Usyk's side, he knows that he's not going to get the Tyson Fury that was in the Francis fight or the Wilder fight, or even, I would say, the Klitschko or Cunningham. He's going to get a Fury that combines all those things, and one that now has fought in Saudi Arabia, done the whole thing with Francis Ngannou, gotten embarrassed, and I think is now more dangerous because of that. That was his wake-up call. That was his one moment where everything could have gone away, and he barely skated through it. So Usyk knows this is probably the best version of Tyson Fury we've ever seen. And the same is going to be said for Oleksandr Usyk, and Tyson has to know that because he's putting away heavyweight after heavyweight and is starting to submit one of the best resumes in the history of boxing, undisputed at cruiserweight. If he beats Tyson, he does it at heavyweight, and that makes him one of the greatest ever. So as we head into tomorrow's press conference, I'm still as confused on this fight as I have been since it started. I am leaning one way, but I'm not going to let you know yet. So you guys tell me in the comments, who wins? Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk. We have one more video tomorrow before the big fight because I don't have those answers. I have a hunch, but on Saturday in Saudi Arabia for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, will it be Tyson Fury or Oleksandr Usyk? Guess we'll find out.